Welcome home, Raiders. Tonight, I'm Ny'alotha gonna lie. We've got a lot to talk about. Patch 8.3 and a lot more. This is CTR number 366.
You're listening to Convert to Raid, the podcast for raiders in the world of Warcraft.
Everybody, welcome to the show from the CTR Command Center and Broadcast Emporium. That's the one that I used last time. I'll use it again this time. In Sacramento, California, today is October 8th, 2019. Oh my, so close to BlizzCon. Thank you so much for joining us from all around the world of Warcraft and beyond. My name is Pat Crane. I'm your host. And as always, the very enthusiastic Thyst is joining us. Hello, Thyst.
What up, Patrick Crane?
You're like drumming.
I mean, I love this song. I can't help it.
It's a good song.
Gets me pumped up.
It's a good song. It's a good pump up song for to get ready to talk about all the WoW stuff. So much has happened in the last couple of weeks.
Oh, I'd say so.
So much. And I'm sorry that we weren't here last week, but Thyst was sick.
That's my bad.
No.
Sorry.
You got the con crud before everybody else, so now it's out of your system, right?
The crud before the storm. Yes, I'm hoping that I contracted the flu that I would have got at BlizzCon.
Right. The crud before the con before the storm.
Yes, that
right?
too.
And speaking of which, we are going to be doing Con Before the Storm at BlizzCon this year, so there we go. Big applause.
I'm really excited about that. What panel are you doing, Patrick?
It'll be fun. I will be doing the Warcraft BFA panel. So Battle for Azeroth and probably predictions for the upcoming announcements at BlizzCon.
Oh, yes.
And I will be with, let's see. So there's going to be me. There's going to be Jason from Starting Zone. There's going to be, oh man, I lost my space. I lost the website.
I got you. We got Shoe Boots.
There's going to be Shoe Boots.
Yes, Raven.
And then we have Towley as well. And we also have Max from Limit. So
that's right.
Max is the GM from Limit. So we've got some big time raiders, some streamers, and some just lots of quality folk for the Warcraft BFA stuff happening for Con Before the Storm. And this is the night before BlizzCon. So on that Thursday night.
Your panel's at 8:30 on the second floor of the Anaheim Hilton.
In the ballroom area. And so is yours. Night. Actually, everything is there.
Yeah.
So is yours.
I'm on the Blizzard panel this year.
You're on the Blizzard panel. Congratulations on that one.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. We'll give you another applause.
Hey, thanks everybody.
So who's on your panel? What do you got?
I've got Garrett from The Instance.
Okay.
Lovely guy. Perculia from Wowhead. J.R. Cook, Dreadscythe, and Mr. Taryn Gregory.
Oh, that sounds like another quality panel right there.
It should be. And just because I'm a super proud person who's very proud of her raid team, Platinum WoW is going to be on the Warcraft Classic panel. Actually,
that one should be really good as well. Josh Corbett is going to be there from Countdown to Classic. He's going to be moderating that panel, and that should be really good as well. So I think there's a bunch of stuff to look at when you go over to Con Before the Storm before the the night before BlizzCon.
The night before BlizzCon, and all through the house.
And I think it'll all be available probably on Wowhead, since Wowhead is such a big sponsor this year. But we'll let you know where you can pick up the audios and stuff like that as well.
Yes.
I think it'll be good. I'm kind of nervous.
Or it'll be terrible.
I'm kind of nervous though.
Why?
Because I have to moderate the WoW panel.
Pat, you're so good at moderating.
There is so much to talk about. There's so much to talk about. Not only like, what did you think about all of Battle for Azeroth, about, you know, the raids, about gearing, about the stupid systems that they have in there, about essences, you know, all this about, you know, whatever. But then we also have to do all the forward thinking stuff.
Oh, yeah. Modding is terrible. It's
so
awful.
much work. So if you guys have any questions that you want me to ask the panel, shoot them out to me at converttoraid@gmail.com.
I've got a question. You should ask them how to pronounce BFA.
Oh, it should be buffa.
Buffa?
Buffa?
What the buffa?
Buffa? As we all know. Let's see. What else has happened in the last couple of weeks for you?
Me.
I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, we're not gonna just dive into 8.3 right now. Although
okay.
we will soon. Don't get me wrong.
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
I went to the Overwatch League Grand Finals in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah. That was pretty cool. I like that. How was it the live experience for that?
It was fantastic. I was pressed, so I got to sit the very highest level and look down upon the sold out venue, which was pretty cool.
Very nice.
Yeah. And we, as press, got to go to the front of the stage during the trophy ceremony, which was indescribably cool, obviously.
Right.
And there's lots of pyrotechnics and confetti and etc. And then afterwards, we got some really great press conferences, and the Shock press conference was really great. Andy Miller, the team owner, he radiates dad energy, and he is so proud of his team. And in fact, Super and Sinatra were on the Tonight Show last night talking about winning the grand finals. And that's a huge deal for esports.
They're also nominated for Esports Player of the Year, right? Or
yep.
And who's that with? I can't remember. What's that?
It's Sinatra,
right?
I think, or Super.
I think it's both. I don't know. I can't remember. It's been too long. It's been like a week since I heard it last, and a lot has happened this week. So, pardon me, information slips out when new stuff comes in. So.
That's like a condition, Pat.
I know, it really is.
You gotta get checked out.
It's bad. It's bad.
But yeah, so it was great. It was obviously Shock completely rolled Vancouver.
That was amazing. Big congrats to the Shock for that. My team. By the way, because of their performance, I was going to do it anyway, but they got new hat styles in. For this year, yeah. So actually, I have it. Hold on one second. I'm gonna grab it. Hold on.
Oh, I'm in charge of the show again. Hey, everybody! I just want you to know that Pat is a really swell guy. Never does anything wrong. He's the best. He smells real nice.
So I got the new hat today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's it's gray, and it has the SF logo on it, right? And then you turn it to the side, and it has the team name. Right? But the team name is the Atlanta Reign on the stupid hat. And so I had to call. I just got this today. I'm like, it fits great, you know, but dudes, seriously, what's going on?
That's not good.
So they're going to send me another one.
That's a mistake.
They were very nice on the phone.
You're going to keep that though, right?
I kind of want to. Part of me.
I mean, you have to. That's like an artifact.
But yeah, it's like two teams for one, I guess. I'm not really a huge fan of the Reign, although Baby Bay is over there, right? So,
I mean, yeah, everybody loves Baby Bay.
Baby Bay's cool. Oh, I know something that happened to me over this last week.
What happened to you?
I got in a fight
with a woman.
No. I got into a fight in the video game of World of Warcraft.
Oh, okay. Because I was about to say, like, you don't look like you got clobbered.
So no.
But then I had to search myself. Like, why did I just assume that you would lose the fight?
Well, and I know you know about this because I was messaging you during the process.
Oh yeah, but you were for a solid hour. I was hearing about this fight you were fighting.
So I was in a fight for an hour in World of Warcraft. I was fighting one mob in World of Warcraft for an hour. I was on one of my many druids. We've discussed this before. Please don't let's open up that can of worms again. I just want to say
you've got too many druids, Patrick Crane.
So this one is a Kultiran druid. I'm trying to. There's been so much going on, but I'm trying to get the heritage armor. So he's level 81. And the nice thing about Kultirans is that their original hearth is set up for BFA.
Right.
So you're just in Borealis and you're like walking around and you're like, oh man, this is great, right?
Right.
So I was like, well, let me do a little exploring, and I was just kind of like decided to go out and see the world, which is a big mistake.
Yeah, that was your first mistake.
Which is a huge mistake. I didn't have, I didn't have PvP turned on or anything like that. I'm not completely dumb. But I did go out into the world, and the very first stop, I went north into Hatherford. That's the first little area right there. And the river kind of comes along through it, and there are birds, cranes. I can't remember what they're called. I don't remember what they're called, but they're cranes with a C, which is weird. It's a weird spelling. And
some might call it the correct spelling.
Some might. So anyway, I was a grub for this bird, and he wanted to fight me big time. So I started fighting him. I was already in queue for a dungeon. I was just kind of waiting around, and so I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll just fight him. And I ran back to the town to try to get the townspeople involved, because I'm 30 levels below this bird. 30 levels below the bird. And so I'm like, I need help.
Yeah.
So I ran back to the townspeople, and some of them helped out here and there. It was all right, but they weren't really good fighters. They would occasionally grab aggro, which I found helpful, but there was lots of running and dotting going on.
Sure.
And it was just the instant casts that were going on until the townsfolk could take aggro and whatever. So then the dungeon queue pops, and I'm like going, oh great, I get to get out of here. I go out, I do the dungeon, takes 20 minutes.
Forget this.
20 minutes or whatever. I come back, they're still fighting the bird. They are still fighting the stupid bird. So I just jump in again. And it took an hour of from when I started to when it was finally dead. It took an hour. And you know what? It was so much fun. I'm gonna totally do it again.
You leave those birds alone, Patrick Crane.
I'm gonna totally do it again because it was so much fun. It was like that. It was all of the suffering of classic with all of the joy of the modern game.
Oh no. So
it was a really good thing, and I suggest that everybody do it. I want everybody to go roll Kulturan, go into Buffa, and check it out for yourself. I mean, do it at a reasonable level. Obviously, when you're level 20, it's not going to work. But
no, you'll just die.
Level 80, you won't necessarily die. I did die once.
And
but I popped back in and I was fine.
You didn't give up. You never give up. You never gave up.
Never give up. Never surrender. Right.
The best around. I will bring you down.
So that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. But I suppose with that, we should probably talk about new stuff, right?
There's new stuff?
There's new stuff, a lot of new stuff that we need to talk about. So let's get to it. It's time for the news. And of course, we're going to be starting with current WoW, otherwise known as BFA or Buffa.
A clever strategy.
Thank you. So, Thyst.
Hey, Pat.
Last week, we found out that 8.3 was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
For reals. It popped up on the PTR as a thing. And people went, that's a thing. It's an encrypted thing. Oh, what could that mean? Brr, brr, brr. But it's 8.3, so that's cool. That's nice, whatever. And then yesterday, Monday, we got an announcement.
Oh, did we? Oh,
Do you want to talk about it? You want to describe it for the folks?
Oh, it's just literally my favorite thing. So we've noticed that lately, like in the past couple months, has it been the whole expansion that they've replaced Q&As, like live Q&As with just video updates?
It seems to be the case more often than not. Like they're doing the more PowerPoint displays, which is fine. I'm okay with that.
I am too, because it gives you more information in less time, which is how people function these days.
I think that they've done so. I think that they've done the PowerPoint presentation type of thing for the announcements, and then they do a follow up sometimes with a Q&A.
Right. So, or like an AMA on Reddit.
Yeah, right. Right.
But yeah, so we got one of those, just kind of, here it is. And it's actually not that long. I think it's less than 20 minutes. Ian is doing it. He's great. He's wonderful. He's perfect. And what? I'm allowed to have an opinion.
No, yeah, you totally are. You totally are.
Anyway, and yeah, and it is the kind of update that's got all of the juicy details that you want to hear and stuff that you didn't realize was gonna, like, you some of this stuff I didn't see coming. And the funniest part is, I feel like, and I love when this happens, by the way, I feel like a lot of this stuff could have been just as easily revealed at BlizzCon. Like people would have been stoked on it.
Right.
But no, Pat, it's been revealed a couple weeks before BlizzCon, which leads me and everyone else to believe that there's going to be even more cool stuff at BlizzCon to be revealed. Right.
So Shadowlands will be revealed at BlizzCon.
You think so, huh?
No. So, well, and everybody's so the big stuff with the overall. With the announcement and everything like that, and with all of the details coming out, now people are comparing the announcement to the supposed leaks, in quotes, in air quotes,
right.
That were when did they come out? Like
the leaks?
Yeah, like 3-4 months ago, something like that.
Something like that.
Where they were like, oh yeah, 8.3 is going to be this, and it's going to be blah, 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 and blah, blah. And it's total BS. It's like most of it is like 90% of it is total garbage.
Yes.
So there's that. And the stuff that was right was like, well, yeah, I mean, lucky guess.
Yeah, but kind of, we all, like all saw kind of that.
Volpyra and Mechanomes are the new allied race.
I wonder.
No. So now people are saying that the whole thing is garbage, which is fine. Although I wouldn't mind if it was Shadowlands, which was in the quote unquote leaked stuff. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Maybe you'll get your Shadowlands. Maybe you won't.
I don't even care if it is Shadowlands. But if it is Shadowlands, that's fine. If it's not, that's fine. I'm in.
I feel like you're going to be upset if there's no Shadowlands, and then I'm going to be having to hear about it for the next 2 years.
No, after the last, let's say after the last couple of expansions, I have, for the most part, really enjoyed the overall feel of things. This time around, I haven't been super impressed with a bunch of the mechanical things. Really? Yeah. I don't like Azerite power. I don't particularly like that. And the essence thing, I'm like, you're trying to polish it, but it's not working for me.
Yeah. Fine.
And now we have more stuff on top of that, and so I'm like, ugh, let's stop with the gear building grind.
Hey man, some of this gear is going to have sweet particle effects.
And that is the entire reason to get
That's all I care about. Because I just want to look cool.
Because it's the end of the expansion, so this is the last possible gear you can get. So might as well.
I want to look cool, Pat, like how I did in Mists with my sweet legendary cloak with the...
We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second. So let's talk a little bit about the features. So actually, let's talk about the name of 8.3. It is Visions of Ny'alotha.
Ta-da!
And some of the features include a assaults, which we've seen before.
Yes.
These are
So a zone will be overcome with Ny'alotha. You know, like purpleness.
Yeah.
Right. So there's going to be like treasures and puzzles and stuff.
Yeah.
The team is like taking all of the stuff that they've learned from all the assaults that we've ever done, and they're making it better, like a kamehameha of assaults.
Well, I mean, so there's a couple of different things with this. So I was playing in the PTR today a little bit, and yesterday very little bit. So I only have like, I don't know, maybe like a half hour in on the PTR.
Were you in Old Doom or in the Vale of Eternal Blossoms?
Yes, I was in both. So I went over there and I was like, okay, so what's the deal? So first of all, those
Did
are
you
the
just
two,
like fly there and then you say out loud, "What's the deal?"
Kind of. So so Vale of Eternal Blossoms is one of them. Old Doom is the other one. These are the new zones. No, not really. Although Vale of Eternal Blossoms is repaired, which is cool. I like that.
It's great.
I like seeing that instead of all that Shaw goo all over the place. And
It's the worst when you step in Shagu, but you're wearing socks and then your socks don't dry.
I stepped in Mogu and then I stepped in Shagu.
Stop. Ew.
Now it's not there. I think the Mogu is still there.
Stop saying Mogu. Now you've ruined that word for me.
So you go over there and then there's purple stuff on the ground, and where there's purple stuff on the ground, you can find little purple guys, and you go and you kill the purple guys and you get stuff.
Sure.
And then you can combine that stuff to get into other featured items as well. So like, let's see, like the new feature, which is kind of mage towery and all that kind of stuff. It's
Horrific Visions?
Horrific Visions.
Woo.
Yes. And this is where we see Stormwind and Orgrimmar have been turned into goo.
Oh, look at all the tentacles Orgrimmar has.
Into purple
so many
goo.
tentacles.
Yeah, exactly. So they are completely purpley.
Mm.
Yeah, and you go through and you fight stuff. But it's like the Mage Tower. But not like the Mage Tower, right?
Well, kind of, because it can be solo or it can be up to 5 players. But there's no roles for anybody. You just go in and you do it. Yep. And the first time you go in, it's going to look so crazy that you're going to go insane and die.
Pretty much right away.
Yeah.
Don't expect much on your first time through.
Yeah. So you leave, and then you know you've learned things about stuff, and I think that's cool because it's kind of like a metaphor for life. You know, it's like you go in, you try to experience things, you try to learn stuff.
I went
out, go crazy.
So I tried it out today, and I went into Orgrimmar. You can actually pick either one. It doesn't really matter because I mean we're all fighting for the same side now. So you can go.
I think that it does matter.
No, it doesn't. At least not on the PTR. You can go in wherever.
Matters to me.
So that's different. So you go in. I went in there, and as soon as I went in there, I got a phone call. So I'm like, oh god.
Who called you?
I had to. It was somebody. We were talking about the new place that I have. I have to fix a fence. I had to talk to him about it, and I'm like, okay. Great.
So can I ask you a question?
You're ruining my game time right now. How dare you?
Let me just ask.
But I really need to fix a fence.
Did you actually get this phone call, or were you just so overcome with madness that you were hallucinating?
No.
Are you sure you actually talked to somebody? Was it Ny'alotha on the phone?
I really talked to somebody. They were a real person, and the guy is coming out for an estimate on Friday.
Oh no! So, if this dude is purple with tentacles,
I know I'll be really, really scared. So I went in there and I got the phone call, and so then I was mostly insane by the time that the phone call was done. But the nice part is you have like that special action button thing. You can pop that a couple of different times, and that will restore you to full sanity again. So I did that.
I wish I had one of those in real life.
And then I went through, and I was killing stuff and grabbing stuff and trying to, just make it through whatever.
Sure.
But I kept on getting my butt handed to me because all my buttons were in a weird place because it's PTR.
Oh, right.
So I don't have the add-ons. I didn't have the add-ons installed. I got to do that.
If you don't have add-ons installed, you can't play the game.
Well, it's just my normal style is a little weird. So it was a little tough to do, and then I got kicked out pretty much right away. I mean, I was in there probably 5 minutes, something, and you get kicked out, but you get a chest, and in the chest is all sorts of stuff, and then you can go through and you can get your Titan. What is it called? Research.
Ah, yes.
Right. So you get and this is for your cloak.
Yeah.
This is for your legendary cloak that Wrathion will give you.
Yes.
Wrathion really, he loves cloaks.
He really does.
He's all about cloaks and turbans. That's all he's about.
Hey man, if as long as there's sweet particle effects included, I'm down. I don't even care. Like right. I'll do whatever it takes.
Okay.
Whatever it takes.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah, and it's okay. I mean, they're working on all of the different parts of it, but it does look like old school talents from Classic, say.
It does. Whatever. It's actually kind of cool. I'm excited about this.
Maybe that's the big takeaway from Classic WoW. They said, "Oh, we need old school talent trees."
Oh, that's what everybody likes.
That's what people want. So guess what? You get an old school talent tree. That's the way it goes.
And it costs money every time.
It does cost resources every time that you add to it. So it's almost kind of like it's more like the Legion class thing where you just kind of go through and you pick whatever you want. It's kind of more like that.
I miss that.
Yeah. And but it's okay. I mean, there's nothing really to scream about as far as those talents go. I mean, it's just basically give you more sanity, give you more damage, whatever,
I would love more sanity.
Wouldn't we all?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll regain some after BlizzCon. Probably not.
I don't know, man. That's where we go to get crazy.
That's right. That's right.
I don't party except for one time a year.
We lose our sanity. We lose our sanity all the way up till BlizzCon, and where we totally lose it, and then we slowly gain it back, only to lose it again as we go closer again.
Life is good, man.
It's right around ticket sales is where we get all of our sanity back, and then ticket sales, and then we start losing sanity again.
Yeah, because that's also the time they put everything on the Blizzard store half off.
It's a vicious circle.
Oh well.
Yeah, I know. I know. All right. So that is okay. So we talked about assaults a little bit. Really not that big of a deal. Horrific visions, which is kind of a cool thing.
I like it.
What do you think about them? What do you think about them using old assets?
I love recycled content and WoW.
I do too. I don't mind it at all. People are like, new zone? Why aren't we getting a new zone? And I'm like, come on, dude, this is kind of cool.
I don't need that many. Okay, the best thing about World of Warcraft is how big it is, you know? But it is really big. Really big. And I don't know, like if a zone is good and we haven't been there for a while, like I go to the Vale of Eternal Blossoms occasionally. I like going there. It's nice. But I don't spend any time there. So it's not like when I go back to do the visions, I'm going to be like, oh, this place again.
That's like it's like the Chromie quests in Mechagon. That's what people are likening them to. And that's pretty true. So, it works. It's all good. I
love it. I think more things should be recycled in WoW. And I think they're doing a really good job of that.
When was the last time we were in Doom, except to get over to Silithus?
I mean, yeah, that was it. I have been there a bunch this expansion, but that makes sense because people have been going to Silithus a lot this expansion, and so it's kind of convenient because there's already a portal there. So
yeah, kind of cool. So it all kind of works. And let's see what else is on my list here. I've got we've got assaults, we've got horrific visions. Oh, we've got a new raid. That's it. We've got a new raid. Ny'alotha, the Waking City. I almost read that as the walking city. Like it's just trudging around.
Actually, that's how I read it too at first.
Yeah, I know. But it is the waking city, and we will fight kind of like Deathwing. We will fight. We have a couple of encounters for Ny'alotha.
Yeah, first we bite his body, and then we fight his essence, mind, spirits. I don't know.
Right. Whatever it is.
Well, okay. We fight his characters first.
Now, what do you think about fighting an old god?
I'm ready. Have you seen these muscles? I'm just kidding. I'm ranged DPS.
People are like,
I'm so weak.
Old gods
No
will
upper body
one-shot
strength
you, no problem. And it's like, well, that's what the special capes are for. Right?
Exactly.
This is what all of these things are for. And plus, he is the weakest old god. This is what I hear. So I'm like, whatever, dude. I don't care. Just give me something fun to do.
I think it'll be fun. I think there's going to be lots of tentacles for us to beat up.
Right. We're also
and it's going to get real weird.
And speaking of previous content, we'll also get we'll also see some previous bosses that we've seen before in new ways. We will also see Raden.
Mm-hmm.
Remember him from
I do
from Throne of Thunder.
Yep.
And then we also have Il'gynoth coming back.
Yes. Hello, Il'gynoth.
As Corruption Reborn. And so he is coming from the Emerald Dream to probably tell us some more whispery things that will be kind of weird and we won't understand.
You know what? He could whisper to me all day. He has a very pleasant voice.
Just in the whisper form. When he talks, though, it's kind of gross.
Hey, what's up? You want some of the particle effects?
And when he whispers, it's a little creepy. I'm not going to lie.
Hey, little mama, let me whisper in your ear.
So there's that. Yeah.
What else, Pat? Who else are we fighting in the raid?
So one of the bosses that I think is hilarious that we are going to be fighting is the Hive Mind. And for those guys that don't necessarily follow all of the things all about WoW, the Hive Mind is the secret group, the group that finds all the secrets of WoW, right? The Hive Mind, and so they had the Hive Mind mount, and now we will see the Hive Mind as a boss. So it's kind of cool.
That is so cool.
I like that. We're also going to be fighting a lot of other bosses where it feels funny in the back of your throat when you say their names.
Yeah, like and
right. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, those guys they have insane mechanics.
They do. And we will be fighting another guy that I'm not going to tell you about. But he's the first boss in the instance is rather surprising to me. And I don't know exactly what's happening with the lore stuff around it or anything like that, but I just kind of want to throw that out there. The first boss is kind of a shocker.
Yeah, I kind of regret reading about it now because now my mind is ablaze with what ifs and whys.
Sure. Right. And
that makes sense.
Okay. I mean, it's we'll see what happens with the lore stuff around it.
Who knows, man?
I'm excited though. I'm excited for it.
It sounds like an amazing raid, and
12 bosses.
Yeah,
12. That's nice.
It's kind of a lot.
That's kind of nice.
But yeah, I'm assuming that this raid is closing out the expansion. So obviously, we're in for it.
One would think. I don't think that they've ever gone past this many raid tiers in forever. So,
Yeah, I would assume.
It's all good. Let's see what else. Okay, we also talked about Vulpera and Mechanomes.
Woo!
They are
we didn't really talk about it.
Well, but they're going to be the new allied races. So Vulpera for the Horde and Mechanomes for the Alliance, which all totally makes sense. And I took a look. So stupid. I took a look. There's been so much data mining, right?
Right.
That I actually took a look and at the jokes and flirts for the Mechanomes and for the Vulpera, right?
Please tell me. Give me the best ones.
I'm just kind of like reading them just straight from the site, so bear with me if they're not all amazing.
Please do the voices.
Let's see. Here's one of the female mechanome jokes. I like to make jokes about the elements, but only periodically.
Oh, I get that.
I think that Warcraft stats would really like that joke.
I think so too.
Yeah. And then another female mechanome joke is, "Hey, are you wearing a wire? They're all the rage now."
Oh, God.
Mechanomes.
That's bad. That's
Mechanomes. Let's see. Anything male mecanome jokes? Mm-hmm. Here's one, and it's not great.
All right.
Maybe I should bail on it before I even say what it is. It is, well, okay, I'll just say it. Why, yes, I do have a vibrate setting. Why does everyone keep asking?
Oh.
That's the joke. That's not the flirt. It's a joke, but it is.
Oh.
I don't know.
That's flirting.
One of the flirts is, "Don't go breaking my heart. Its warranty just expired."
Aw.
Right. And if you do the voice, over the top of it, it's even more heartbreaking. So,
You can do the voice.
No, I'm not going to do the voice.
Why not?
I'm not going to do the voice. It's all right.
How can I make you do the voice?
And then, so I was reading this stuff and I was like going, "Oh man, these are so bad. They're so bad. They're okay." These are so bad. They're good. These are so bad. They're okay. I don't know.
Thanks for giving us that to look forward to, Pat.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. And by the way, so let's talk classes real quick for these guys. The Vulpera can be everything except for Paladins, Druids, DH, and DK. Right? So
that makes sense.
Pretty much everything, which totally makes sense. And then same thing for Mechanomes, except they also cannot be Shamans, which totally makes sense.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, because they're machine nut of the elements.
Right. So perfect.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Although they do get to be priests and mages, and so I don't really understand it.
Who knows?
Much,
although I would love to see a Vulpera druid, because I love. Obviously I don't like the Alliance or whatever, but I love the druid aspect of Worgen because they can be so many animals.
Mm-hmm. Well,
that appeals to me.
And it brings up the question: what did the fox say? Never mind. All right.
I was going to sing, and I don't want anybody to know how well I know that song.
How well do you know that song?
I love that song.
It's great. Those guys are from Norway.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Are you from Norway?
My ancestors are. Yes. If you must know.
I knew that. I just wanted you to say it out loud.
Right. Let's see. What else is on the list? On the list, we also have new heritage armor for goblins in Worgen.
Yeah, so the goblins, they've got really cool goblin-y armor. Nothing like jaw-dropping or anything like that, but I like the little rocket on the shoulder.
Mm-hmm. It's very wowhead.
It reminds me of Death Stranding, because they have like a little like robot arm that comes out of the back.
Sure.
Looks like that. But the Worgens obviously get top hats.
They get the Dapper Dan look.
Very dapper, yes.
What do you think about the top hat look? Are you into it?
I just know that when I put top hats on my dogs, they look real cute. So I would still world PvP them to the ground, even if they were wearing cute little hats.
Well, of course.
That's just my prerogative as a horde,
Sure. No, I get it. They are very nice looking though, and I would probably just take the top hat and ditch the rest of the stuff because I don't care.
Top hat and nothing else.
That's right.
Ooh,
well, except you also have to wear pants these days. You also have to wear pants.
Yeah,
pants, top hat, pants, top hat, monocle maybe. That's it.
Ooh, you're classy.
Look at that. Classy and pantsy.
I didn't realize that about you. Oh.
Yep. So there you go. And then also on the new features list for Visions of Ny'alotha, they've also totally redone the auction house.
Yes.
And
so this has been a long time coming.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool. It looks pretty cool. I don't know exactly how it works. I didn't spend any time on it. But my understanding is basically You don't have to worry about undercutting anybody anymore. If you are a hardcore auction house person, this might suck, but I think for the casual people, it'll be amazing. So
it's going to be fantastic. You can purchase portions of a stack now and not the whole thing. So if you don't need that many, if you can't spend that much, you can buy portions of a stack. You can favorite items and create a shopping list for yourself, which is most important for me because I never remember what I need, Like the only thing I know that I want is swiftness potions. That's the only thing I remember. Everything else is like, I don't know what gems, like I know what gems I need, but I don't know what they're called.
Yep.
And then, sometimes the gems will be like the same name or like something will be the same name as other stuff, but it's like, this is specifically for this enchant is for your weapon, but it's also the same name as the ring enchant. So you have to look at it carefully or you'll buy the wrong one and then you feel like a moron, But now you can just like look at the enchant that's got the same name as every other thing that you're never going to remember because it's like a name. And you can just, star it, then buy it. And then,
Sure.
Inevitably, a few weeks later, you come back, you're like, oh no, I need a thing. I don't remember what it's called. It kind of sounds like, what is it? And then, you've got your shopping list. So I'm stoked on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you don't need to undercut anymore. Auctions posted later at the same price are sold first.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Which is cool. That's nice.
Yeah. And it just looks nicer.
It really does. It looks a lot cleaner. It's very nice. So there's all that stuff. Along with this patch too, there's going to be, there was a bunch of data mining done. And so, if you really want to look at all of the data mining, go to your data mining hubs like Wowhead, like Icy Veins, because those guys have really, and MMO Champion for that matter, they've all got tons and tons of information on exact things like story. And that's another thing. We are gonna catch up on story, and we're gonna be able to see some of the stuff that happens after that amazing cinematic reckoning, which was really cool. But now that Sylvanas is in the wind, now how does the horde pick up, and who's gonna lead them? Who's gonna lead the horde?
I'll do it. You know what? People already call me war chief, so
sure. So who's gonna lead the horde is a big question, and who's gonna lead the Forsaken? Because you need your racial leader as well, right?
Yes.
So
you do.
who's gonna take over Lordaeron or the Forsaken, or I don't know exactly how that's gonna work either. So it's all just kind of weird, and we get to go with Wrathion and Ebonhorn and the dragon aspects and see those guys in action as well, which should be pretty cool.
That would be great. I'm so curious to find out more of the story, but not curious enough to spoil it all in the PTR.
Sure.
Or with data mining.
Right. But it's very interesting because Wrathion has been, he's been traveling a lot, as we know.
Yeah, we couldn't find him, so.
Right. He's been traveling all over the place, and Ebonhorn has never been a part of the dragon aspects before. He was in hiding, right? I
would be too.
Right. So now he gets to join the gang and see what's going on. We're going to find out more about Tyrande. And she is upset.
I can understand her upsetness, but I still want to take her down.
She is, I think one can say, and I think you can say this fairly. She is of a single mind to kill Sylvanas. She just wants to make Sylvanas pay somehow, whatever. And I don't think that's going to be any big surprise. It's just, how do we do that? How do we get there?
Right.
And, but she's a little, PO'd.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Right.
Her eyes are all black. She's done her hair up different.
She is.
When somebody goes through a transition like that, like when somebody gets real mad and then they come back and their hair color's different and they've got a different look, a different outfit,
right.
It's about to go down.
Right. Like when Jaina got the white hair.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, she cray now.
Oh, she
You
very
know?
cray cray.
So and now Tyrande has the black eyes.
Yeah.
She's got the black eyes, Pops.
What?
Nothing. Oh no, she's got the black eyes. Get her a
Is that
poultice.
something you made up, like tall sitting?
It's supposed to be like an old timey disease. She's got the black eyes.
Old timey, eh?
Anyway, and all of this lore stuff has me thinking about one thing in particular.
What's that?
It's more like a question.
What's the question?
My question to Blizzard is, what's with all the pairing up of the folks? What's with all the pairing up? What's with all the romance in the air? What's with all
what the world needs now is love, sweet love.
I suppose, but you got Kalia and Derek. You know, I mean, they're both undeady people.
Sure.
You've got Lorthamar and
Yep.
Thylisra. So Lorthamar and Thylisra. You've got Valera and Shaw. Matthias Shaw. These names are super easy.
Oh yeah.
Totally.
Keep going.
Totally. And Jaina and what's his name? Calicos. Or kind of a thing. Kind of. Just
I mean, yeah, you know that they're
like they like each other, but I'm not sure that they like each other.
Secretly involved.
I don't know, and I don't.
He likes being He likes being polymorphed. You know, as a mage, I often get weird people asking me to polymorph them, and I'm just like, I don't know, man. That's weird. You like it a little too much,
right?
I don't want to do that to you.
Sure.
I don't want to be a part of this. Sure. And then they're like, I'll give you gold. I'm like, all right.
All right, fine. I'll do it.
Yep, I'll do it.
Making a lot of gold. Need some new shoes.
That's right.
So, what do you think about the pairing up? Are we gonna see like little NPCs coming into the world soon? Not to the orphanage, but I mean, just like, you know.
I mean, that's definitely an avenue that I didn't consider. If one of these, if somebody dies, you know, somebody important dies, it would be probably good to leave Spawn behind. Honestly, I didn't think of that. That's a good point.
I'm just wondering where we're going with this, because I mean, you know, maybe it's just that all of the characters are starting to get old again.
That's true.
Or they're starting to get older now that Anduin is growing up into a fine young man. Yes, Manduin.
You missed a couple. Did you miss it on purpose?
What? Which?
I don't know if you missed it on purpose. I don't want to drop this bomb if you didn't.
Which what?
You know, Sylvanas and.
Oh, Sylvanas and what's his name? Nathanos.
Yeah.
It's more, I think that one is more on Nathanos than it is on Sylvanas.
I mean, she's got a lot on her mind.
Nathanos is like, goodbye, my love, at the end of the last, that last little bit for the Sylvanas loyalists. Said, goodbye, my love.
Yeah, and she's like,
she's like,
whatever.
See you, Steve. You know?
Yeah.
Like, called him by the wrong name and everything. It was weird. No, she didn't actually do that.
Could you imagine? Steve.
No, it's Nathanos. Oh yeah, Nathanos.
Oh yeah, you.
Yeah,
right.
I got your digits, man. I'll call you later.
The guy who does everything for me, even though I treat you like dirt. Got it.
Right. So yes, those two as well. And so now we're gonna see little undeads around. No, I don't think that's a thing. I don't think that's a thing that can happen.
Possible.
But I don't know. Little spy. You know, Valera and Shaw will have little spies. We'll have I don't know. I don't know what's going on. So and then plus we got to see if Thrall and what's her name are still a thing. Because we don't know what's going on. Because we haven't seen her. What's her name?
She's in hiding, okay?
and their kid or whatever.
Baby Thrall.
Yeah.
Baby Thrall Junior. Junior Thrall.
Jesus Jr.
Yes.
Green Jesus Jr.
Jesus Junior.
So who knows where the story will go? But seriously, if you do want to spoil it for yourself, I'm going to give you time, guys.
Yeah.
To find out on your own doing about the story before we start spoiling it. But we probably will spoil it before 8.3 hits.
Definitely.
Because I don't know, it's with all of this stuff that's going on for 8.3, it's probably going to be a while on the PTR.
Yeah,
wouldn't you say? I mean, like a month.
I can't predict when this might come out. It's probably after BlizzCon. Maybe like the couple days after BlizzCon, just be like, all right, we told you about the next expansion and all the other cool stuff, but you don't get that yet. But what you do get is the patch we talked about a couple weeks ago.
Right.
So go home and get on your computers.
So let's talk about timing real quick. Let's talk
All right.
about timing real quick, and then we'll and then maybe we'll move on, or maybe not. There's so much stuff here to talk about. Timing. Let's work backwards a little bit.
This sounds hard.
So, we've got the holidays coming up after BlizzCon, right? So we know it's going to be before the holidays, and I think that it goes. The release of patch 8.3 is one Tuesday. Then the next Tuesday is the beginning of the raid, maybe, right?
Right.
And then the following Tuesday would be the beginning of Mythic.
Right.
So you've got basically 3 weeks in there to kind of play around with. And we know from previous experience that doing this too close to the holiday break is not a good thing.
No, that's a bad thing.
So where would you put the beginning? Where do you think 8.3 is going to land?
I don't know. This is way too hard. This is right over my threshold.
Like in the States, you have Thanksgiving. In Canada, you have it too, but it's probably already gone. Is it already? No, it's coming up. It's coming up in the next couple of weeks, right?
We have Thanksgiving in October, Pat.
Right. No, I know. It's very silly.
Before yours.
Seems very, very early. So what I'm going to say is, let me just open up my calendar here.
Oh no.
Real quick. November. Let's see. So everybody will probably be not really rating all that much, except for the hardest of the hardcore, of course, starting probably like mid-December, right?
Right.
So I would say that they would have to release it soon after BlizzCon, maybe like the 12th.
Okay.
Get everybody out of the con crud area.
That's kind of what I figured.
Or maybe the next week, maybe the 19th. Because then you have, I think that's the week of Thanksgiving here in the States. So if you have that, then you can have the opening week, have the first few days available for people to play, and then it's Thanksgiving, so people are doing whatever they do, and they have maybe more time to play, but not with a raid team because of family and stuff. And then the next week, they just jump right into it.
Yeah.
And go crazy.
Yeah. Like literally.
I think I figured it out. Everybody.
Let it be known that Pat did that 100% by himself.
It's the 19th. Thank you. I did it.
Proud of you.
That's amazing. I'm so glad I figured that out.
You're smart.
Right. Okay. So there were a bunch of criticisms that I want to get into about all of this information about 8.3, and we can maybe put some of it to bed a little bit. And we've kind of talked a little bit about this as well. Okay, here's the first criticism. Having Ny'alotha as a raid instance instead of a full expansion is cheapening the lore of Ny'alotha. because Ny'alotha is supposed to be huge. It's supposed to be ginormous. It's supposed to be this giant city that we've never seen before, and to have it just as a raid seems very small.
Sure.
What do you think?
Well, I don't think that. I mean, going off of absolutely no knowledge whatsoever, I don't think that they mean for the raid to be the entire world. I think it's just a piece of it, because isn't Ny'alotha
It's
like right next to our world that we just can't see?
So part of what Ian said today was that Ny'alotha is much more than just the city. It's the thin veil between our reality and this shadowy thing,
Right.
this corrupted universe.
Right.
And so that's part of why we're going into Orgrimmar and Stormwind to fight off this corruption and all that kind of stuff. And so it basically is everywhere.
Yeah. So I don't think that this raid is meant to be the entire world of Ny'alotha. It's just,
Sure.
it's just where N'alotha is chilling with his friends.
Leo Wild says it's the upside down except old gods.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. And it was really funny. One of the guys in the CTR Discord actually put up the whatchamacallit, the visions of N'Zoth in the same title format as Stranger Things.
Oh, cool.
It was really neat. That was Navix, by the way. Thank you, Navix, for that.
Thank you, Navix.
And Chud from Genetics says, we said that about Argus. As far as, Argus was not nearly big enough. Not nearly big enough. And I'll agree. I want to be able to explore more with it.
I didn't.
I am okay with it as a raid instance. But if that's all that it is, I do feel like it's a little small, maybe.
Okay, maybe a little small.
Depending on what we do, because I don't know.
Well, we only needed enough of it to finish out the expansion, so
maybe we'll visit it more as we go on, or maybe we'll revisit it in future expansions.
Recycle content,
because we are just going there for N'Zoth, and that is it. And maybe something else happened. I don't know.
What if there's people on Argus right now, like colonizing it? And then the next expansion, we go to space and boom, we live on Argus now.
Sure. Right. Here is another criticism. Killing an old god because of an amped up cape feels dumb. I get that.
Okay, but it's not just the cape. I mean, we've been working towards this for very long, 2 years at this point.
Sure.
It's not the cape. Cape is just the particle effects on top of the cake that is BFA.
Right.
We've worked really hard for this. This is just the last piece of the puzzle.
Right. And I don't know. Like I said before, he's the weakest of the old gods. Wrathion has this new legendary cape for us. Who knows? It's gonna
be great. It's gonna be fun.
It's a little weird, but yeah.
This is a culmination of all the hard work. I mean, I know not everybody is, raiding every week, but from my point of view as a progression raider, if Wrathion wants to give me a cape so I can help, close out this business, so be it. But I'm not looking at the cape like it's going to save everything. Right.
As far as beating the big bad guy, yes, N'Zoth seems like a perfect fit for that. And that's great. I'm just talking about from a purely lore deal where he's an old god. That's the only thing where I'm like, yeah, that feels a little weird, but whatever. I'm willing to give it a shot.
Sure. I mean, we haven't seen the particle effects yet.
Right.
What if they're really, really cool looking?
They could be. Who knows? And speaking of which, that's another one of the criticisms, is another legendary cloak. Didn't Blizzard learn from the first time?
I liked my cloak. Okay. I don't know what this person's talking about.
Well, remember back in the day, and maybe you don't remember, but I remember calling it, that people called it, and I called it as well, the People's Legendary. Because
Why?
everybody got one.
Yeah, so
It's like the ring. It's like the, I mean, we've gotten those before, but because that was the first legendary that everybody got, and this was after the one from the Firelands.
yeah,
From
but
Cataclysm.
like we got more legendaries in Legion, and they're a little more diverse, you know, like expanding
We had
over
legendaries galore
classes.
in Legion.
Yeah, but I mean, nobody was like, we don't know anything about these capes. Like, what if every single class gets one? What if every single spec gets a different looking one? You know, like what if there's all these variables we don't know about? What if you remember like the legendary weapons? You'd like do certain achievements or like, gain certain rep or whatever, and you'd get a different looking one. Like I grinded PvP, so I'd have the coolest looking sword. And not everybody had that because they didn't want to, but then they do the mage tower real well and they'd have like the cooler looking sword. And it's, what if there are variables? What if, yes, it's a cape like Mist, but what if there are lots of, customization achievements and options like Legion? What if what if it's all coming together, Patrick?
As far as I know from what I saw in the PTR, that's a big nope.
Oh, well, it's the PTR. It's not done yet.
Right, it's not done yet. So whatever. Another criticism is of this next expansion is more Heart of Azeroth levels. I thought we were done with this stuff. And yes, there are more.
It's the Heart of Azeroth.
There are, but I don't understand why we need it anymore. Because
it's powerful.
But we've already used that to release N'alotha, or for Ashara to release N'alotha. That was the whole purpose for it. This is my personal view. I'm a little done with it. Mainly because I'm behind in my levels and I really don't want to grind more.
Oh, so it's a you problem.
Oh, and
you're just projecting.
It's definitely a me problem.
Rude.
And other people's problem as well.
Sure.
I don't know. Whatever.
I'm very sorry for you.
And that's it, because we already talked about no new zones. So that was the other one. But, I mean, I think, so overall, I am excited to check it out. I think that the color scheme is amazing with that dark purple and pink and orange. It's a very stunning look. And the architecture looks really great in Ny'alotha. It reminds me of the end stuff in Legion where we went to that Star Wars looking area.
Ooh, Star Wars area.
To fight off, what was that? God, what was that?
The Wookiees.
Yeah, there was the Wookiees, and then the end of whatchamacallit?
Endor. That's where the
Endor.
Ewoks are from.
Endor. No, it was it was the big spaceship in.
It was the Forest Moon.
No, I know what it was. What that part was. I'm talking about the raid. Oh, man. Yeah, it was the Death Star looking place. Anyway, so I I just really like that style, and that they're bringing in this kind of very, very different foreign look to this architecture, and that it's huge. Yeah. And that it's very overwhelming to the eye in a lot of ways.
I love being overwhelmed in my eyes.
Right. And it's very dark, but
yes.
But also has a bit of pink in it.
I do love pink. It's very magenta.
Yeah, to make it kind of, a little bit more palatable.
It's kind of 80s colors, and I'm all about that.
It really is. It really is. So that's good. Maybe we should play some 80s tunes. Some 80s pop while we go raiding in there.
I would love to.
Awesome.
We could sing the whole time.
Perfect.
Take these broken wings. Is that 90s?
Sure.
I don't remember.
Right. Anything else about 8.3 that you wanted to say?
Yeah. We're also getting some new hang on. I had it. I'm sorry. We're getting a new mythic keystone affix called Corrupted.
Right. That's right. That one looks pretty sweet.
It does. There's like these portals. They pull you into an alternate world. You defeat some person in there, and then you return to reality wherever you're standing when that person's defeated, and that allows you to do some interesting skips through content.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know how it works yet, but it sounds interesting.
And if you decide to skip those baddies in the great underneath, no, it's they might come back to me? They might come back to bite you. During the final
on
boss.
your great underneath,
right?
It's also the new PvP season, and we're getting in a heroic Dark Shore Warfront. So now we've got 2.
Right.
Well, soon. Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of like, it's a thing. It's a thing, but it's not a thing.
I love the heroic Warfronts. I love.
See, I'm just kind of like, I've got better things to do with my time. Like fight a crane for an hour.
Yes, clearly. Top tier, most important thing.
That was so much fun, dude. I like it.
You need a hobby.
So, speaking of which, now it's time to switch it over to Warcraft Classic.
Let the suffering commence.
Mm-hmm. We also found out something that's coming up for Classic with that video announcement. Number 1 is that Dire Maul is coming soon, October 15th, or that week anyway. So Dire Maul is coming
soon.
Sooner than Phase 2 even. So yay. And the reason that they didn't release Dire Maul with Phase 1 is because the gearing is just weird, and so it would break everything, essentially. So Dire Maul is coming for like in a week, and then Phase 2 should be coming before 2020. We don't know exactly when.
No, but that's a lot sooner than I anticipated. All of this is happening a lot faster than I thought.
Right. And part of that is because there are still some servers anyway, like Fairlena, that are, and Whitemane for that matter, that are still using the layers system. There are several. They actually came out with I think it was our good buddy Randy came out with a post on Classic servers, just on the health of what's going on over there, and it was like, well, a lot of the servers are down to 1 layer. Which is great, because then they're just going to lock those at 1 layer and be good to go. I mean, people are now spread out. They're leveling kind of all over the place, or they're level 60, and so kind of traveling about the world as intended. So they're no longer bunched up in Durotar or something like that.
Nature is running its course, Patrick.
Sounds like the earlier discussion about all the coupling up.
Oh yes, gross.
Mm-hmm. So we have a lot of realms down to 1 layer, and they will be locked. And those that aren't there yet, as soon as they do get there, they will be locked at 1 layer as well. And hopefully that will be before the end of the year, when Phase 2 comes along, and Phase 2 has world bosses and other things going on with it. So yeah, should be good. And something I didn't notice until just today, and maybe it happened just today with the latest build. What happened? Or the latest update. They took the servers, and you know how normally it's just here's your server list. Yeah. Right? And then maybe you'll have like Latin America and Oceanic servers on a different tab, right? Yeah. Well, they took all of the US servers and they split them up into US East and US West. Whoa. Yeah. So if you are on, if you're in one of our many guilds on Pagel, that is US East. Whereas if you are on Whitemane for the PvP side of our guilds, you would be on US West. Wow, I'm US West. Yeah. Even though in real life I'm US East. West Side. That's right. West Side. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So just be on the lookout for that. I just wanted to give people a heads up. Thank you. I didn't know. And also, there is a website that people have. Oh, I know. I'm going to talk about this. We're going to talk about a couple of things that are going to be kind of crappy here. Now, I know. We got to talk about the crappy stuff too, though. By the way, we've got a really crappy thing coming up. So I'm just warning everybody. We got a really crappy thing coming up. But let's talk about the less crappy thing right now. That there is a website that I think people were using during the private servers stuff.
I think so.
And,
I'd never heard of it before, though.
Yeah, and so it was well used from all of that, and it's called Classic DB, and I think it's not .com, but it's something else. Anyway, don't go there.
No.
As it turns out, and I've been hearing rumors about this, and also hearing Perculia from Wowhead talking about it. But those guys are doing nasty things, and they are essentially scraping everything from Wowhead.
Oh yeah, they are scraping everything, even like foreign comments. Like things people say about things. Like they're taking them,
guides, all that stuff. So I mean, they're taking like everything and putting it on their site. And I mean, obviously, you can do what you want as far as visiting those things, but I want to let you guys know that they're not being very ethical about it. And
no, they're just straight up stealing, and there's nothing that Wowhead can do because I think they're out of Switzerland.
Yeah.
So trying to come at this website for stealing would probably just incur a lot of bills and a huge lawsuit, and it's ultimately not worth. But they're just straight up stealing, and it's not fair.
Right. So that's the deal with that. Show your support for, I think, homegrown content that is legit. I mean, say what you will about Wowhead, but at least they are pursuing all of that stuff organically with their staff, and really trying to make sure to provide you with all the knowledge and guides and data mining stuff and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you may not necessarily like them all the time, which is fine, but
no. You have to respect that the work that they've put in, and just respect for content creators in general,
Sure.
and all the people that took time to write guides and take the time to write comments. Like they're taking comments. It's just it's so weird.
Sure.
Anyway.
So just want to let you guys know about that. All right, now we're gonna get to really weird, crappy news. So we'll go into esports. And Thyst has stepped away from the microphone because she really doesn't want to talk about this too much. And neither do I, for that matter, because we are going to be talking about Hearthstone. This is not one of the things that we cover a lot, especially lately. And it's more about it's not necessarily about the game. It's more about politics and...
all right, just let me do it. All right, okay.
Yeah, just go ahead. Tell them what the deal was.
So essentially what happened was during a Hearthstone tournament, a player said some things about the protests for Hong Kong, and he kind of used his platform in the tournament to, kind of spread awareness of the, what's going on, and the protests and his views on, what's going on. And the two casters that were interviewing him, apparently, told him to go ahead and say what he wanted.
Right.
And the casters after that were then let go. And the player in question, Blitzchung, was banned from the tournament for a year, and he would not receive any of the money that he won in the tournament.
Sure.
So this is a super touchy subject right now. Obviously, it's a very important subject. Not trying to diminish that in the least, but it's made a lot of people angry at Blizzard for how they handled this. And I just want to say that I've been involved with Blizzard Esports. I've signed contracts with many contracts with very specific do's and don'ts,
Sure.
And even some like ultra omega specific do's and don'ts that were really strange that I had to giggle at. But Blizz has to cover all their bases because they're a giant company and they're letting players and team members and different staff and talent and broadcast and crew in on these these individual islands of esports, and so everybody has to be accounted for. So I just want to make it clear that like I'm not looking at this from a political standpoint. I'm looking at this from somebody who is sort of taking all this in, and the way I feel about it is Blitzchung signed these contracts, and the contracts, clearly stated, please don't violate TOS, don't, have outbursts. We'd prefer if you didn't, say things or do things on broadcast that would be, harmful to Blizz or to yourself or to anybody else. Sure. And these rules were in place before any of this happened, and Blitzchung signed that contract. If he didn't sign it, he wouldn't be in the tournament, and that's that. Yep. I've seen like even just the one MDI event that I went to, like if one piece of your contract is missing, like you don't go, right. you just don't go. Right. So in a statement, Blitzchung said that he knew that he was going to get in trouble. He knew that. But to him, it was more important to use this platform to express his feelings and to gain awareness for the cause. Sure. And I think like that's very brave of him. Like he knew he was giving up the glory for the tournament, the prize money, and he knew that he was putting himself in trouble and perhaps even in danger. But he did it anyway. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's cool because he put Blizz in a lose-lose situation because Blizzard had to let him go and give him all these consequences, enforce all these consequences because that was in the contract. And he broke those rules. He knew what he was doing, and Blizz had to do that.
And so did the casters for that matter. Yes. I mean, the casters Absolutely. Really knew it, and if they were, and from what I hear, they kind of goaded him into doing this. Yeah. And so the casters being let go, that absolutely is the thing. I mean, they were working for Blizz.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's like, just imagine if I was interviewing somebody on stage in Australia and they said something crazy and I'm like, yeah, and then what? I'd be telling them to go ahead. I wouldn't be telling them to stop.
And while I get you're right, it's a lose-lose. There is no winning for Blizzard. They were pushed into a very hard spot. And they had to react. Now, absolutely, was it too much? Probably. Will they maybe take a step back in a couple of days? Who knows?
Yeah, they might issue something. But I just want to make it clear that I think it was a super brave that what he did. But
really, I mean, he accomplished his goal more than he could ever hope. Really?
Exactly. This is exactly what he wanted. Like he's getting exactly what he wanted because, I'm sure he didn't, even realize what a huge controversy this would stir up. And, if you, by the way, if you are upset about this, if you're thinking about canceling your subscription and stuff, that's completely that's your prerogative. You are entitled to that, of course. Mm-hmm. But, you have to admit that this player, he's getting even more than he thought that he would. He's accomplished his goal with this. Right. And I feel that Blizz, I'm not too worried about Blizz just because whenever they do make a mistake, they will always fix it or own up to it. It just takes them a while because I feel like a lot of the time when people tell Blizzard that they've made a mistake, sometimes it's not true. There has to be some time for Blizzard to say, was this a bad call? We need to talk about this. We need to deliberate, and it's because of the message that Blitzchung had. It's not inherently bad, so it's painting Blizz as the bad guys. But if it had been something quote unquote bad, like everybody would be like, of course he got banned. Of course, they took away the prize money. But Blizz can't pick and choose on the spot what is good and what is bad, because that just opens it up to chaos. Know.
Well, and
it's not really Blizzard at large. It's the Hearthstone Esports department, and their paperwork, and they're like, well, he violated the terms of service, so we have to follow protocol.
He violated the contract, and the contract did specifically say that, and it's up to Blizzard's discretion, of course, but if you cause problems, essentially, if you cause any kind of hubbub, commotion, I don't know, then Blizzard can take away your prize money for the season plus whatever. I mean, they could the penalties are within a range or whatever. They were spelled out in the contract, and then they just decided to enforce the full brunt of that contract, which is suspended for a year plus no prize money for you. Which blows, but I mean,
Blitzchung knew what he was getting into, and he got what he wanted and then some. I'm sure. Like I was aware of what was going on, but I wasn't this aware. Today I became aware of what's going on, and that's what he wanted. Yeah.
And there were protests at Blizzard for this as well, where employees covered up a couple of words on the big on the big circle outside the where the statue is, where like every voice matters, and what was the other one?
I think that was the only one they covered up.
And I get that too. I get protesting what Blizzard did, but I also understand why Blizzard did it. Was it harsh? Yeah, but. I think it
would have been harsh for anybody who had caused a ruckus.
And I think it's so much more than just or maybe it's even so much less than the political thing. The political thing is a big deal. Don't get me wrong. Yes, it's a huge deal. But maybe because it was just a big ruckus, because it was in the contract, if you start a big ruckus, we're going to have to do something, no matter what the ruckus is. We're going to have to enforce this. And then they were just like, well, we have to enforce this because it's a big ruckus. It's not that it's political. It's not that we don't agree with you. It's not that we don't think that Hong Kong is, that's like is under a lot of pressure right now. And all of that kind of thing. I mean, that's a huge issue, and I don't want to necessarily talk about that.
It's unfortunate that Blizz was thrown into this and had to make this call, but those rules were in place before this happened.
And I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat kind of agreeing with us, and like Zemo says, if Blizz doesn't protect themselves, what's the next guy gonna do? Or what do they do the next time?
And like, what if at the next, MDI in Columbus, one of the players stands up and starts talking about American politics, And then what is Blizzard going to do? Like, the last time we silenced a guy, we got in trouble. So maybe we should just let this guy talk, And then what? It just opens it all up to chaos. And that's why these rules are in place in the first place. Yeah. All of this being said, again, if you're upset about this, you're right. You're entitled to that. And everybody is. And I think that the only true losers in this, the only true bad guys in this situation are the people who are taking this so far that, again, they're sending out the death threats. They're trying to figure out how to break into HQ, et cetera, et cetera. Cool. That's not cool, and that's actually contradicting what you're feeling, this is all like less violence and horribleness in the world, please. Right.
And this does kind of bump up against the NBA stuff that's going on right now, and
the South Park episode that came out.
South Park episode, and I mean, there's all of this stuff coming out right now.
Just really bad timing. Yeah. So this literally happened today at time of recording. So we've yet to see if Blizzard will respond, if they do at all, or if they take any actions to, sate people or or reach out to Blitzchung. I don't know what's going to happen. Or maybe nothing will happen at all. But
and he was offered a place in another tournament for a different game, of course.
Of course.
But another game company jumped on it and said, "No, you can be a part of our tournament." It's like, well, I don't know how that's going to work out, but sure. Yeah, thanks, guys. But it's a big controversy, and I don't want to take away from the real world consequences of what's going on over in Hong Kong or anything like that, because it's horrible.
Of course. Yeah, we're just speaking on the Blizzard part of all of this.
I am only speaking on breaking a rule that is in a contract. Really. Yeah. And did they do it the right way? I don't know, but they did. They did what they had to do, I think, because those guys kind of forced their hand.
Exactly. So. And somebody on Twitter put it really well. They said, people being angry at Blizz today and getting upset really is overshadowing how brave Blitzchung was, because he was brave, really brave. Yeah. And, I hate that Blizz is in this position, and my heart breaks for Blizz, obviously, but he was being brave, and the outrage against Blizz is kind of overshadowing that fact. So I don't know, just I'm looking forward to a few days from now, and everybody kind of cools down a little bit, and we kind of get a better perspective on this as a whole. Yep.
Well, and I hope that with this discussion we haven't upset you guys too much, but obviously if you have things that you want to let us know about, please send an email, converttoraid@gmail.com, or hit us up in Discord or whatever, and we can talk more about it. But it's a tough spot, and it's regrettable for everyone. Yeah. I don't, nobody wanted this harsh of an outcome, I don't think.
Not at all.
But I it's a tough spot. So
well, that's the thing with esports. Like there's so many people on so many teams from so many places around the world, and this is a risk. Sure. And I think it's the same with like T-sports as well, like traditional sports. Controversies all over the place, and so esports, we got them too.
And I see Thorn in chat. Hi, Thorn. And he was like, and he says, "Cheers to this chat for exploring the various perspective of this while remaining civil."
Yes, thank you.
And I would like to parrot that as well. Thank you guys for in the chat for being open to it. And I think that most folks in here can understand at least a reaction. Maybe not this bad of a reaction, but it's a tough spot. So what can you say? It doesn't mean that I'm gonna stop playing Blizzard games. It doesn't mean that I'm not gonna go to BlizzCon next week. It's
Wouldn't like 2 weeks away.
Wouldn't that be
2.5?
Oh, what are you gonna do at BlizzCon?
I'm gonna follow you around the whole time, Patrick. I'm gonna be your shadow. I'm gonna tie myself to you. Oh, I got this sweater. Okay, so it's like I'll play this. Like a medium size on one side and a small on the other, and I get into the small one, and it's attached to the medium one, and that's the one that you get in, and then we'll just be together the whole time, and they'll be like, "Oh, I didn't realize you guys were conjoined twins. How was that?" And I'll be like, "I don't know. Born this way."
I'm not really a medium type of guy. Well, I might be able to fit into a medium.
I was just trying to make fun of you.
Maybe.
You're way more svelte than I am.
It could be a tight fit. That's all I'm saying.
Patrick rides bikes IRL.
I haven't done it recently though.
That doesn't matter because the last time I rode a bike I was like 12.
All right. Cool.
What are you gonna do at BlizzCon? Hang out with this?
So I don't think I'll have a choice in that.
No, you don't.
I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of one of those great times where you get to hang out with friends and meet up with your online family and have a good time. And I think that this BlizzCon, even with this little this fairly large incident that happened this week, but I think that all of the devs are saying that this is the BlizzCon to watch. This is the one you want to be at.
I may have some insider information.
For a reason, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, there's going to be a lot of different announcements. So be prepared. And especially with this 8.3, patch 8.3 stuff coming out now, that just only leaves room for more stuff to talk about at BlizzCon, doesn't it? And hopefully we'll get some interviews. We'll be able to talk to some devs.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk their ears off.
I'll bring my remote
Big
microphone,
black mic?
my remote microphone out, and see if we can't record some people along the way.
That thing is huge.
Yeah. And let's see. So if you want to follow us on socials, you're at Thyst03 pretty much everywhere. I'm at Pat Crane with a K pretty much everywhere.
And Snapchat.
Look for us there. Yeah, exactly. And Converterade is at Converterade on the tweeters. So anything else that you wanted to talk about?
No, I'm done.
Okay, great. Perfect. Now that that's out of the way, let's bail on this and we'll start up the other music. Oh, also, you can pick us up at converterade.com. That's where we have all of our things. That's where we have the audios, the videos, the guild stuff for Buffa, and much more. So go over to converterade.com if you can't find us on your podcatcher of choice for some reason, which is weird.
That'd be weird.
You should be able to find it, for crying out loud. So there. Chat room, thank you guys so much for participating and being cool and weird and fun. And Thyst?
What?
Cool. And for everybody at home, no, thank you for being cool and weird and fun as well. And for everybody out there, thank you for being cool and weird and fun and joining us on this journey today. We look forward to seeing more of what 8.3 has to bring. And until then, we'll just see you next time. What do you say? That sounds pretty good, right?
Sounds good to me.
All right. Well, we'll do that then. Until then, bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.